covering the Northern Bahamas? You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Tomorrow promises to be a big day for the Royal Bahamas Police Force here on Grand Bahama, as the long-awaited opening of the police fire station is expected to take place. The fire station, built at a cost of around $6 million, is named in honor of a former Deputy Commissioner of Police and Port Authority executive. Italia Hall reports.
In just a few hours, the newly built fire station will be officially opened. The state-of-the-art complex located on Cathedral Boulevard has a lot to offer, from office spaces, bedrooms, bathrooms, training rooms, and much more. On Thursday afternoon, officers of the Royal Bahamas Police Force could be seen at the facility putting together the final touches for the official ceremony. Our ZNS News team caught up with the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Emerick Seymour. He says the new fire station has been a work in progress for some 15 years.
My sole satisfaction is to see the officers who have been working in, other than comfortable conditions and circumstances for the past 15 years, being moved now, rightly so, to a more comfortable environment, where they can better serve the people of Grand Bahama. Notwithstanding the fact that they were in those uncomfortable environment, I must applaud them, because they would have worked still assiduously, not complaining. But we must say kudos to those officers, because I felt their pain as their commander for the past for the time I was here, for the 7 years that I led this district.
Seymour says the facility that borders the Heritage Subdivision was originally built for the fire department.
This will be the Grand Bahama Police and Fire Station, serving the people of the Northeastern Division. So Grand Bahama should be rightly and justly proud. It's being named after excellent Bahamian son of the soil and the person of Sir Albert Miller.
Local Fire Chief Ernest Hanner has high expectations.
We've been busy this week. We're trying to find a way around the station, trying to be adjusted to the new environment, learning the new environment. So on day one, we'll be sort of used to what's going on, the different use of the building in our new facilities, and the officers, they are very excited.
These residents say this is something that all Grand Bahamians should be proud of.
I think it will serve this part of Freeport well, so I'm excited about what's happening.
There's a lot of homes around here and a lot of fire and things always breaking out, especially in the summertime, so it's a very beautiful fire station.
The Prime Minister, Dr. The Honorable Hubert Minnis, is expected to officially open the fire station tomorrow morning at 11. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Italia Hall.
In news from the crime beat, a large marijuana farm discovered in Abaco. Police tell us that shortly after 4 p.m., officers acting on information proceeded to an area on Ernest Dean Highway, just south of the International Airport, where they discovered the field with marijuana plants ranging from 1 foot to 7 feet in height. Police say 387 plants were uprooted. The street value is $154,800. Now, there were no arrests made, and investigations are continuing. And tonight we continue our series on battling mental health. In this report, author and entrepreneur Krishna Bo, who has battled with anxiety and depression over the past 2 years, shares why it is important for persons who may be experiencing any mental health issue to break their silence.
So you have to know this too shall pass.
Krishna Bo says 2.5 years ago her life changed as she battled a mental health condition which comprised of anxiety and depression. She says by far this has been the hardest thing that she has had to endure. Yet she notes that clinging to her faith affirms her belief that this too shall pass.
Me, scriptures. I do it. Listen, I said Jeremiah 29:11 says to me, I know the plans God has for me. I may not feel like he has good plans today, but I know what his word says, and his word is truth. I know the plans that he has for me, and they're plans of good. Plans to not harm me. And I tell myself these things over and over again. Isaiah says, thou will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee.
She adds that for anyone who may be experiencing any mental health condition, it is imperative to speak positivity over your life, along with finding other resources that can assist.
It's about, being positive in the way you think and encouraging and meditating and trying to get yourself into a positive thinking process. Exercise, if you have to go online and just see some of the tips, because, a lot of people suffer from depression and anxiety, a lot. And there's a lot of information on the internet as well about it.
And Bo says to always remember that you are not alone. She says every day she is grateful for a husband who has stood by her and family and friends who are of great support. But she says talking about what you may be battling is key to your breakthrough.
I thought like this was something that I'm going through. We don't even realize it, but the pharmacies on the island cannot even keep antidepressants in stock. Isn't that amazing? If anybody knows me, I was always a very even keel, very sound person. And this thing come at me and hit me like a ton of bricks. And I thought I was the only person in the world going through this. But see, I can't keep my mouth, right? And child, I can't even hide it. I just can't fake the funk. I can't do it. It's too much energy, and I'm already trying to get myself out of this. I ain't got the energy to fake and try to get out.
She warns never to let pride or shame get in the way.
You have to think about yourself and ultimately those around you, because you may be hiding that for strangers who don't give a crap about you. They can talk with you today, tomorrow you finish, but you got to think about, like me, I have a 12-year-old daughter, and I tell you many days I lay in my bed and I beep. And I say, Lord, you got to get me through this.
Bo says while we all become stressed and overwhelmed at times, battling mental illness is another level. Recently, a social worker who battled mental illness allegedly committed suicide. While she says she does not condone suicide, she says she condemns persons who have judged a person battling this condition.
When you have a condition, you are going through torment every day. And see, what happens is, because we can see physically, you could see when a person is physically ill, so you can empathize and you could sympathize. But when a person is going through something mental, a lot of times you don't know.
She leaves this bit of advice.
You have to talk to somebody. Do not just try and deal with it yourself, and do not think that you are weak because you need the help of somebody, because we all have our own weaknesses in life. And today for me, tomorrow for another person. That's why we have to hold one another up during that time. So talk to somebody, and if you need to, go to a doctor.
And switching gears now, they are partners in education, and for the past 2 years, the Ministry of Education and the Principals and Vice Principals Association have been hosting a special workshop to get parents more involved in the business of education. This year's conference is just days away, and parents are being invited to participate. Jay Philippe has the details.
The theme, It Takes a Village, speaks volume to the second annual Parenting Forum, which is a partnership between parents, teachers, and the community. The annual Parenting Forum this weekend will feature a wide array of guest speakers that will be covering a number of topics, says Vice President of the Grand Bahama Principals and Vice Principals Association, Altamarie Elvies.
Some of the topics that will be covered will be a crash course in technology, alternative means of discipline, substance abuse and depression, embracing diversity, bullying, living with VAT, effective communication. Let's Read Bahamas, and Miss Dr. Anika Bo will be presenting her findings on the parental involvement research which she conducted over the past year.
District Superintendent of Education for East Grand Bahama and the Keys, Yvonne Ward, says that it takes a collective effort from different individuals throughout the community to help foster a child in the right direction.
It's not just about parents and getting parents involved in their children's education. But what we found out, which was so interesting, was the intricate role of not only parents, but educators, the community, religious leaders, and all the others that are so intricately entwined in getting parents involved. and especially the employers. That was most interesting to me. Having employers on board so that they can let their parents come to parental conferences and allow them to get more involved in their children's education.
The Parenting Forum will allow the wider group to have an opportunity to listen to educators and the business community on topics that may be of any assistance as the school year recently got underway. District Superintendent of Education for West Grand Bahama, Ivan Butler, says that he's extremely excited about the initiative and is encouraging the Grand Bahama community to attend.
I applaud the efforts of this association, as we know that involved parents make a difference. And so we at the Ministry of Education and with the Department of Education lend our support to what will happen this weekend. And we are truly appreciative of what is going to take place. And we just want the public to know that come out. Parents, we definitely need you to come out and support this initiative.
The forum will begin at 10 a.m. and will end at 1 p.m. over at St. George's High School Gymnasium. I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
And now we head back to our top story, where the nation's chief led off debate on the resolution to purchase the Grand Lucayan Resort in the House of Assembly this morning. Tonight, Sabrina Brown tells us that the Prime Minister revealed some shocking details about talks with an investor who was seeking to purchase the resort and would lead the minister's administration to make a tough decision to purchase the hotel.
Workers at that hotel.
Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis, speaking on the resolution to purchase the Grand Lucayan Resort in Parliament, outlining for the first time details of why Canadian investor Paul Wynne did not purchase the resort. He said Wynne wanted the government to agree to subsidies and concessions of over $159 million.
The government must pay its 15% share up front instead of over time, as previously agreed. 2, the government agreed to ensure Paul Wynne is provided with electricity at a reduced 20% discount rate. 3, Mr. Speaker, Paul Wynne would be permitted to employ 420 non-Bahamians for work on the project. Paul Wynne would have the ability to have 15% pre-approved non-Bahamian employment without the need to apply for work permits.
He said Wynne also requested that the government pay for any losses he incurred and guarantee him a 7% return.
What he had requested of us was if he lost $5 million, we must pay him $5 million. Plus 7% of the $5 million plus the other millions that he made.
The former PLP administration entered into an agreement with Sunwing to operate the Memories Resort, a move which Prime Minister Minnis said his government was not prepared to make.
The PLP granted combined subsidies to Hutchinson and Sunwing, which would have totaled approximately $21 million annually for a period of at least 7 years.
He said after exploring all of the options at the time, it was clear to the government that they had to make the difficult but necessary decision to purchase the Grand Lucayan Resort to ensure the economic survival of many. The government financed the initial $30 million of the $65 million purchase price, and the resolution authorizes the government to guarantee the loan for the remaining $35 million to Lucayan Renewal Holdings Limited, the entity that now operates the island's anchor property.
The government has provided for the continuation of the union agreement and current employee contracts to ensure that the employees are fully protected. While the government did not have to do this, it was the right thing to do.
The Prime Minister said the board of Lucayan Renewal Holdings Limited is committed to an exit strategy to sell the Grand Lucayan Resort properties to a private entity as soon as possible.
And this potential buyer should be able to help create a unique destination with the accompanying airlift and marketing that will help to make the property and the destination successful. There are a number of entities that have expressed serious interest in purchasing the Grand Lucayan property. And indeed, discussions have begun with a number of individuals for the sale of the said property.
The nation's leader said Bahamas Air will play a vital role in attracting more visitors to the resort. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Well, the Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar, giving his support to the government's decision to purchase the Grand Lucayan property. During the afternoon session, he addressed the question of the government's ability to sell the hotel property when its original owners, Hutchison Lucaya Limited, were unable to do so. He says motivation, allegiance, and duty propelled the government to find a buyer. The tourism minister also assuring Grand Bahamians that his ministry will give the Grand Lucayan property its full support to ensure the resort's success.
American Airlines has in fact already committed to a second flight from Miami to Freeport in the winter of 2018-2019. Other airline partners have indicated their willingness to work with the Bahamas in bringing additional air seats to the destination once hotel rooms are open and demand picks up. The flow of visitors to Grand Bahama is further augmented by non-stop scheduled charter flights from Milan, Italy. Mr. Speaker, Bahamas Air will also play a vital role in bringing more airlift to the Grand Lucayan. I've requested the Bahamas Air work together with the Grand Lucayan to immediately create attractive packages to that property.
It is essential to know how the government arrived at the purchase price. It's essential for us to know what this is costing us all. Right? Was this based on a current market value, together with the current quantity surveyors report on the estimate costs for the hurricane damage for the repairs, recognizing that Hutchison One Power has already collected the insurance claim for these damages. In negotiating the purchase price, was this taken into account? Did we take into account all of the concessions we've given them over the years?
And now it is time to ask the doctor.
Welcome. Darcel asked, I have a teenage daughter who has recently told me she was pregnant. What are some of the health risks associated with teen pregnancy? And how can I promote proper prenatal health? Thanks for your question, Darcel. And I am most certain that there are many parents that share a similar situation as you do. Pregnancy can be one of the most difficult experiences that a teenage girl can ever face. Understanding how to support your daughter as she deals with pregnancy is extremely important. Pregnant teens and their babies are at a higher risk of experiencing various health problems than those who are older. The most common complications for pregnant teens, particularly for those who are younger than the age of 15, as well as those who do not receive prenatal care, include anemia, high blood pressure, and preterm labor. Babies who are born to teen mothers are more likely to be born prematurely and have a low birth weight. A pregnant teen can improve her chances of having a healthy baby by taking good care of herself. If you or someone you know has a teenage daughter that is pregnant, help is available. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.